We're live. We're live. Perfect. Take that off. All right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. How are we doing today? How are we doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Excited to do these. Get back on the live stream schedule. Mondays I don't do any live streams because I'm cooking all day, and then when I get home, you guys don't want to see me. But anyways, I want to talk about a couple things because it is the beginning of the month, right? So the beginning of the month, I always like to have these set themes of what we're doing for the week or for the month, or kind of looking back at the previous month. Is there anything that you can technically improve on, right? So we're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. I'm Sleep. Hello Java. What's up, C? How we doing today? How's it going? So essentially, why are we here? What are we talking about? Exercise recovery. What the hell does that even mean? A lot of people don't even take this serious because they don't realize how important it is. And I'm not necessarily even meaning exercise recovery, right? Essentially, what I'm meaning is recovery in general. And so, what is recovery? No, I'm not talking about AA, drug recovery, addiction recovery. That's a whole different aspect of recovery. What I'm talking about are the things that you can do on a daily basis that are going to actually help benefit you in life. So, oh shit, I don't even have it on. So, I have my Whoop tracker, right? I always show off the Whoop tracker that I use. And actually got out of the shower, I was working out, but I don't have it on me right now. But essentially, I'm falling off of this damn ball. Am I going to get a chair? I mean, I know I talk about it, but I use this damn stability ball. I feel like I'm just rolling down hello, I'm just rolling off into the sunset. But essentially, let me get this over here. I don't want to roll over some of the props that I have for later on. It's crazy. But let me know where everybody's tuning in from before I start getting into a tangent. I got my coffee here. Nick, buy a chair. Okay. Remind me, get a chair. Or maybe I bring a chair in here. I don't know what the hell is going on. But, I always feel like when I sit on this ball, I'm like traveling all the way away, and then I'm like, hello, playing peekaboo with the Lamb live stream. But essentially, exercise recovery, right? What are the things that we can start to do that actually we start taking? No, I like the ball pretty. Okay. Why, you like seeing me suffer? I did it because it was like an exercise, right? It was like I could stabilize. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it, but essentially, Florida. Oh, it's Florida. It's hot down there. I know it's humid. Carthage, Missouri. We got our Pittsburgh people, but let's get into it, right? So, what is exercise recovery? So, I always wear the Whoop. I don't have it on me. I should have had it on me. I actually just took it off because it's charging. So, I use these different metrics, and a lot of times we look at these metrics like Hudson River Valley, awesome. Welcome. 2 for 1, right? That's exactly it. To do a workout while I'm in here. But a lot of times, like, we think of like recovery and we think of like exercise recovery, and a lot of times, people don't actually take this serious. And believe it or not, a lot of my motto when I was starting the business and still in the motto is eat, train, and recover. And a lot of people always ask me, Nick, what the hell does recovery even mean? Like, I'm not recovering from drugs. I'm not recovering from an addiction. Like, what is it? And essentially, what we want to talk about is the fact of, is there any modalities? Is there anything that you can do that's going to benefit your sleep, benefit your body, benefit your mindset, benefit your health? And so I like to use, people use Fitbits, people use Apple Watches, people use a lot of these different metrics nowadays. You can have a ring that tracks like your sleep, your heart rate, you're tracking your food. And so a lot of it's like, does any of this shit even work, right? So I want to share with you some of the stats that I got back from the from my Whoop journey. So essentially, the number one thing that has actually helped me, and I wish I can actually bring this on screen, Instagram, maybe on YouTube, I should start to do this a little bit better. But the number one thing that actually helped my recovery, right, what boosted me was getting sleep, right? So everybody should know that, yeah, okay, sleep should be number one, right? Because that is when you rest. That's when you want to get yourself into a position where obviously you're feeling better. So this guy says, who are you on YouTube? Who am I? Can't you read the title? I guess I got the hat on too, right? So essentially it's like, obviously getting sleep, right? Everybody knows but getting sleep, but a lot of people overlook their sleep or their quality of sleep for that matter. And so sleep was one of them, but the second one was really weird. Was I got that Ninja Creamy, right? And so the Ninja Creamy is dairy. And I've always been lactose intolerant, or lactose sensitive, should we say. So every time I have whole milk, it does not bode well. If I have a cream sauce, it's horrible, right? And the thing is this is I have a blizzard. Holy shit! It's yeah, holy shit. But the thing is, maybe a little TMI, my bad. But essentially, when I have dairy, it was never a good outcome. And I know a lot of people are the same way. As we've gotten older, it has become a little bit different, right? It's harder to digest. However, I started switching to these different lactose-free milks instead of my almond milk, my traditional almond milk. Started doing more of the Fairlife because I like their protein shakes, right? As I started adding in this dairy over the last month, I was surprised, and it blew me away, that was actually my second highest impact over getting enough sleep. And it actually blows my mind because this is something that for the last four or 5 years I've been avoiding 100%. No dairy, no like actual milk, but I got this Ninja Creamy, and you can't really make fucking ice cream without milk, right? Like, let's be real. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to use the Fairlife. I'm going to do all these recipes that I found online. And believe it or not, it actually is helping my health. So if we could say that this Ninja Creamy edition is actually benefiting my health. Now, is it going to benefit yours? I have no idea. How do you buy it? I bought it at Walmart. It was like $150. But essentially, like when I do the math, right? Because like we all love a good Ben and Jerry's, right? Let's be real. But if you ever look at the back of that, and you ain't just eating half of it, you're not just eating half of it. You're gonna eat the whole damn thing, because we all do. We're all human. So when we eat the whole damn thing, how many calories actually is that? It's like 1,000, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 calories. And so if we can save that, and believe it or not, some of these recipes they claim, oh, we are 400 calories if you eat the whole Ninja Creamy kind of pint. And I'm like, that's impossible. But when I do the math, a cup of almond milk, a cup of Fairlife, a scoop of protein powder, you're really at 400 calories, like 350, 400 calories. And then you add your mix-ins, and that's where it gets crazy. You can add some Reese Pieces, you can add all these different things. And I don't want to shill for this Ninja Creamy. I'm just saying that this is one of the additions that I added into my routine last month, and I guess some saw, it's I don't know. I have no idea, but we saw some benefit. And that's kind of crazy. So, but I think it wasn't just the damn ice cream. I also was increasing my protein intake, right? I was trying to make sure that I was drinking 5 of those Fairlife protein drinks. There's like Core Power drinks. So Core Power, come on, see, I know you were talking about, you said you emailed them on my behalf. So yeah, I appreciate you. You're doing the good work. But I was drinking one of those, at least trying to get 4 to 5 of those a week. So, and that's basically just one a day. And what I found was, obviously that's dairy. What protein powder do you like, Java? I did email them. See, I love it. What protein powder do you like? So I've been using that whey protein isolate because it does take away that lactose, that like milky kind of consistency that I was talking to. So people on YouTube, if you're wondering, we are live on Instagram, and same thing. People on Instagram, we're doing their YouTube. We're trying to do a little cross. We're trying to get them 2 birds, 1 stone, right? Just like you said with the stability ball. But essentially, what we want, so kind of going backtrack, was the dairy, right? Using the protein. And so I looked for the last 2 weeks. There was a study that came out that I was doing that said if you can get 20 to 30 grams of protein in the morning, and I think it was like, I don't know if it was Peter Attia, Huberman, I forget who it was, but it was one of those guys, kind of in the podcast space that were talking to somebody. I clicked on their link and just kind of went down this rabbit hole of this study of this lady talking about 20 to 30 grams of protein. I kept seeing 20 to 30 grams, 20 to 30 grams, 20 to 30 grams. I'm like, what the fuck? 20 to 30 grams. But essentially what it ends up being was the study, I guess, that she found or that she was doing was if you do 20 to 30 grams of protein in the morning as like your first meal, like kind of making your meal around the 20 to 30 grams of protein, you actually start to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. And this is, I don't want to get like too technical and too sciencey, and people are like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Even though that's what I am, and I'm an exercise physiologist. So if people wonder, and again, the guy was like, who the hell are you? That's who I am. But of course, when I start getting sciencey, people are like, I don't want to knows into this. I'm not in biology class. But essentially, if you do care, it's muscle protein synthesis, and this is actually what helps repair, grow your muscles, right? And so what the study was saying, that if you can actually ingest 20 to 30 grams in the morning, you actually stimulate this response from your body, this physiological response, which is awesome, because if you did a lot of work, working out the day beforehand, and you go to do this, and you set up your routine for you're getting 20 to 30 grams of protein in the morning, you're keeping that growth going, right? I think that's something that's important, because we want to keep growing. That's the whole reason why we're exercising in the first place, right? Is to get healthy, grow, and all that good stuff. So I said, okay, well, before I can actually even get out here, talk to you guys on it, talk to you guys on the internet, talk to my clients and say, hey, this is a new thing that I want you to start doing, I have to do it myself, right? And that's why I like to come in here at the beginning of the week or the beginning of the month and kind of go over some of the stuff that I've been doing, so that I can then it can benefit you, right? You never know. And especially a lot of my clients that are watching it, take this, I wouldn't say with a grain of salt, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. But essentially, it's the dairy, obviously, so we'll kind of backtrack, is that, sleeping, obviously getting your sleep, getting enough sleep, getting sufficient sleep was my number one recovery tool. Number two, dairy, the addition of more dairy. Now, whether or not that be the protein, whether or not be the vitamins, but I think it was because of the increase in protein. That's what I would personally say that it was. One of the biggest factors was the increase of protein. But when I would mark it on my Whoop, it was marked as dairy and protein. Protein wasn't on there, dairy was. So it's kind of weird however they think about that. But honestly, the third one was learning something. So learning something. Now, a lot of times people are like, as we get older, let's be real, we're kind of tapped out on learning. We're like, first, A, we think that we can't learn something new, or B, we don't feel like there's anything to learn. But if we look at, and we kind of shift the mindset a little bit, if we look at it at the lens of like maybe you're scrolling on Instagram, you're going on YouTube, right? And you're just consuming content without actually like implementing any of the stuff that you're consuming. If you're a business person watching business, if you're a health person, if you're trying to get on a health journey and you're watching this stuff and you're not implementing it, what are you doing? But if you're actually implementing a lot of the stuff, I give out a ton of free information, a ton of free content on my pages. And so if you're not implementing it, you're just enjoying it, which is fine. I love it. Like it, subscribe, make a comment, do all the good stuff. But if you're not actually using it and learning something from it, you're missing out on this whole benefit, because that is my third best recovery score, or metrics, would we say, is learning something new. Now, let me know in the chat, anybody, when was the last time you learned something new? When was the last skill that you learned? What if you sound if you're mining? What's that mean? You sound if you're mining? Interesting. If I'm mining? Interesting. But that's it. You're not generalizing my Generation X people. I watch you when I work out and finally catch a laugh. Yes, finally. See, if we got the audio messed up, I realized I don't even have the mic connected. So if the mic is a little, I can put it up there and get you a little better sound if it sounds like I'm kind of in a tunnel or a vacuum. But let me know before I get on another tangent. But essentially, right, when was the last time that we learned something new? When was the last time we did? When was the last time that we read a book and done something with ourselves, right? Learn something new every day. I love that. I love that mentality. So that's exactly what I was kind of getting myself into, is that we got to go through the lens of learning something new every day. Going through the lens of trying to get better, that growth mindset that I'm always talking about. I've been doing these live streams for, feels like, forever now on Instagram. But I always talk about trying to learn something new every day. Going to see something about that protein for sure. Look at that up. 20 to 30 grams in the morning. Let's try to do that. And if you think about what's 20 to 30 grams, and I did the live stream cooking about it the other day, but that's 6 eggs. Nobody's eating 6 eggs, right? Let's be real. You're not eating 6 eggs for breakfast. But 1 scoop of protein powder usually is 20 to 25 grams. breakfast burrito, 2 eggs, a yogurt, 20 to 25 grams, and there's a lot of things that, and it comes back to normal, strange, and not just this lab, having other labs as well. Interesting. Well, because I got the little mic, so I can always put it in. So, yeah, dang, that's a lot. Yeah, well, what, 20 to 30 grams? It's not that much when you break it, but six eggs, we're talking about 6 eggs. Yeah, 6 eggs is a lot of eggs. I don't want to eat 6 eggs. No, I'm not going to do it. But what I am going to do is have a thing of protein. Right? You can get some of those Oikos proteins right now. They're 15 grams of protein. You have an egg. You say you have one egg, which is 6 grams. You have the 15 gram of protein. You're already at 21, and then maybe you have a toast with peanut butter. Like something like that. Now we're getting somewhere. It's Petrucci. Petrucci, you changed your name. Coldwater. Oh, what's cracking? You finally changed your name from, what was it? The Dream Theater guitarist. I love it. Add more egg whites. Look at that. Add more egg whites. Or I can't. These things are right up my ass. Nice to see you, Petrucci. Nice to see a familiar face. We're back. We're back on our live streams, kind of getting back into is there other thing? Is too much protein can add weight, fat? That actually is true, but however, Lashes, there is something. I actually have a YouTube video on that. Is protein making me fat? And it can. But the problem is if you're doing too much protein. And to be honest, we don't ingest enough protein for it to be actually stored as fat. Now that is a possibility, right? Because when your carbohydrates are stored, right? So say you store carbohydrates, stored as fat, protein can also be stored as fat. Because what is fat? Stored energy in the nutshell, right? Stored energy. So yeah, you just got to think of it like that. It's a stored energy. But yes, that is true, but you're never really eating enough. I mean, I have Sarah, I have a bunch of my clients on here eating what do I have you guys at? Sometimes 150 grams of protein. So something to think about right there as well. And when you think of Zahid, right? That's you're true. Oh, geez, you guys are going at it. So look at it. So we look at it from that lens, right? If we can get the protein in, and there was another thing about that study was that enough protein to your ideal body weight, right? So not only do you need Alma, okay, I remember you, yeah. So you were in here last week when we were talking about this stuff, to be honest. But the ideal body weight. So a lot of times people are like, how much protein should I need? Everybody's always heard the 0.8 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. And it gets confusing, right? It gets seriously fucking confusing. But you have to get more, you have to get at least 100 grams, right? At least 100 grams. But the study that I was reading also showed that an ideal range of protein is your ideal body weight. So say you're 200 pounds and you want to be 150 grams of protein. Say you're 170 pounds and you want to stay 170 pounds. 170 grams of protein. And see, that's probably why too, right? Is that your metabolism doesn't know what's going on, Zahid, right? That's what I'm talking about. So you have to necessarily, like, if you find that, like, Nick, I can't reach the goal that I have, that I make for you on the app, well, start to break it down and see, okay, let me get it to my ideal body weight. I know, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Is that you could kind of break it down, right? But I suggest Poopy Pants, he's pooping his pants, is that I suggest that you get at least 100 grams. I don't care, male, female, what age, where you're at. If you're over 30, you should definitely be getting over 100 grams of protein a day. Now, with that, right, because I'm saying that because that was my second best recovery metric of the month, of last month, was adding dairy, adding more protein. So that's where you need the protein. Yeah, see Zahid, you need the push because you need the protein. You heard her, or him, or I don't want to, yeah. But essentially, that's where we're at, right? So we have the protein, and then the third one was learning something. So let me know, what was the last time, I know we just talked about this, but you said that you're learning something new every day. And so that's what I want to, it's a day, cool. So that's what I wanted to talk about, was more or less about learning something. So what is that one thing that, like, what is that one skill? Is there a skill? Is there something, a hobby that you can learn? Is there something that you can kind of 2 to 3 days a week kind of just dedicate 15, 20 minutes to learning, right? And I think if you look at it through the lens of, when we're consuming content, maybe look at it through the lens of, I'm learning something. Is there something that you can actually pick out of it? Because what that actually ends up doing is lighting up the brain, right? That ends up basically turning on different synapses. And again, I don't want to get too crazy and too scientific in here and lose you guys, but it turns on different synapses in the brain that is going to actually help you in your life, right? It might help you with your weight regulation, right? When we know in a couple live streams that I was talking about before, was that there's over 1,000 genes that are expressed in your brain that control and manage weight loss and regulation. So yeah, Chris is back. Oh, I'm seeing some familiar faces. What's cracking? Okay, what's happening, everybody? I like seeing all these familiar faces. Yep. I just learned about eat where I want to be. So eat where you want to be, but eat in enough calories, right? So if you're not eating enough calories, your body doesn't know what the hell to do. If you're eating too much, obviously it's going to be too much, right? And then you're going to start storing fat. I mean, it's, the thing is when it comes down to weight loss, weight regulation, we know that the thermodynamics is a thing, right? Most of us do know that. So we have to be just moderate about what we're eating. Moderate. I like that. See, I like it. But just strive for 100 grams of protein. Alma, you get missed. Oh, look. See, I like people. I like this. So you got some people who are kind of in here. Whoa, I just changed this. So that's kind of where I want to be with the protein, the going to sleep early, and learning something new. And there was 3 other things that I want to talk about that, boy, you like my glasses. They're falling down. These are actually new glasses. You just saw it a couple weeks ago, right? Everybody was making fun of me on Instagram because they were hanging halfway off my face. So, yeah, so there's that. But essentially, the third one was waking up at a constant time, right? I work with people in person, some of my clients that I see them at 6 in the morning, and then they tell me that this is the only time I ever wake up at 6 in the morning. So if you're only waking up at 6 in the morning once or twice, if you're only waking up at 5 in the morning once or twice, or if you're a shift worker who got to go to bed when everybody's getting up, right? Like, we have to really look back at our sleep, because, right, the first recovery metric, the best recovery metric was getting enough sleep. Bro, why are you waking up at 6 in the morning? I got clients at 5 in the morning. Zahid, I got people to see. I got lives to change. I got to do some things. You know what I mean? I got to knock on people's door and say, get the hell up, right? I wake up 6 in the afternoon. Oh, hell no. It's not even 6 in the afternoon right now. Well, I guess depending on where you're at, but whatever. Touche. But essentially, it's like, when we think about these different things, what can we improve, right? Because when we exercise, we eat better, we're doing these different things. 5 in the morning, why do you wake up at 6? Some of them I have at 6, and some of them I have at 5. So that actually requires me waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah. I see. Where are you? Pittsburgh. I am in Pittsburgh, pretty. But we do online, right? I got clients. See, he's up at 4 a.m. And I always try to show. I try to show that too, right? It's like when I give you my yoga pose or Pilates pose of the day. And pretty, if you're looking for any type of coaching, just DM me, new me, and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. But essentially, we want to be able to find almost like a bedtime routine, like a wind down routine. And so one of the things that I've been really looking at is not eating such a huge meal right before I fall asleep. And what I just moved from there. Well, Philadelphia. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of the completely other side of PA. But not eating a huge meal right before you go to sleep has been majorly important, right? That is one of the things that I personally think was one of the big changing factors of my recovery. Because if you think about it, right? If you think about it when we're on YouTube, when we can go band to band. When we think about when you eat, is it like that huge meal at the end of the night? Is it a huge dinner? Do you snack and then fall asleep? Like, what is your routine that you kind of have? And is there anything that you can adjust, just so slightly, that's going to actually benefit you in, your health journey, right? So for me, I noticed that I was crushing like 900 calories before I went to bed. And it was because I'm up training clients. I'm seeing clients from 5, from 7. Sometimes, I have a client at 7 p.m., so then I'm getting back at 8:30, and then I got to eat, so like you eat when you can. But then I started realizing that I was waking up tired, lethargic, not really having that much energy, and I was getting these yellow recoveries on my tracker, right? And so once I realized that, I was like, holy shit, maybe I could change this. Pretty, yep, yes, unfortunately, see, is that if you can do it 2 hours is what I was doing. It was actually, I started with 90 minutes and then I went 2 hours. But save your meal 2 hours before you're going to go to bed. And if you know that you're going to go to bed every day at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., make sure that you have dinner before 8. You like your hat? You like my shirt? Oh, okay, thank you. You know what I mean? I appreciate you. Yeah, on YouTube, you make them too nice. This is actually an older shirt, but I appreciate it. But it's like you also think is like, is there a way that I can actually have dinner maybe a little bit early? And there's going to be days where you can't control it, right? Right, Emma? Right, Zahid? Nah, dinner's at 5 a.m. Dinner's at 5 a.m., right? So like, you ain't going to be able to control any of that. But essentially, you can, right? Because these are the things that are in your control. You can, whenever you're eating, you can, I don't want to say force yourself, but you're going to have breakfast. Because we just talked about having 20 to 30 grams of protein in the morning, right? So we got to have that in the morning. And then we got to think, are we going to have dinner right before we go to bed? No. And the reason why is because your digestion, right? So when we're digesting food, middle of the day, and this is why, kind of go off track, is why your breakfast should kind of be your bigger meal of the day, right? And if you look at it from this theory, is that the fact that when you eat a bigger meal and you're up for the majority of the day, you're able to burn it off, right? So you're able to burn off a lot of your calories. So if you have your major meal at the end of the night, you're sleeping, you're resting, you're sitting in bed while it's digesting, and so it's not really as efficient, A, and B, you're just kind of almost storing those calories, right? Because you're not burning, you're just kind of letting the body do its regular BMR. So when you do this, it's about getting yourself into a position where can you switch something at the end of the night, and do what you got to do, right? And then you start there, and then you move on, and you keep going, and then you keep grinding it over. What are you saying, Alma? Okay, my people, they're over here. And that's this one thing. So let me know in the chat, what is that one thing that you can do in the for your bedtime routine? Can you adjust your dinner, right? Can you add some more dairy? Can you, all right, Zahid, thanks for showing up. Can you add some more protein? Can you do 20 to 30 grams of protein in the morning? Can you do it in the afternoon? I will adjust my dinner. See, that's what I like to see, to 5:30, so 4:30. So lashes, have a good day. Well, thanks for stopping in. I hope I was able to give you some value and give you something good, tangible that you can think of tonight. Because it's all about what you can do, right? We don't want to just consume. We want to consume and then actually apply the information into what we're doing. So like looking at stuff like that is what are some things that you could do. And finally was the gratitude, right? I'd have to do dinner. Have to do dinner? Yeah. See, dinner's, I think, an easy one for most people, because if you have a set time, and obviously if you have kids, if you have whatnot, but it's always going to change. But if you have different things, right? Petrucci, Chris, like if you're still in here, like, it's getting into that routine where you want to be able to, not necessarily like, is there a nighttime routine? What can you do? Do you read a book? Do you play PlayStation? Do you watch TV? That's fine. But make sure you have your food a little bit earlier than before you're going to bed. And so those are some of the things that you could just do regularly, right? You don't need to actually apply, any money, any purchase, any product. So now again, you're going to think I'm a shill for this company, but we were partners back when I first started my business. And so they still give me the grandfather discounts. Yep. The routine with the kids. Oh, I bet 100%. But then there's things like this, right? My Jason mask. If you see this, right? So Nick, what the hell is this, right? So this is another recovery metric, and it has the red light therapy. Oh, shit. I didn't want the. Wow, that's bright. Yeah. So I didn't want that. How the hell did that turn on? Wow, I'm like blinded. But yeah, something like this, right? Where you put the red light therapy, it helps calm. It's got these little massaging things that give you a little head massage. So like you can get 7 minutes. So like using products like this, right? The Theragun, a massage gun, right? These are different things. Like that's right, dude. That blinded the shit out of me. Did you see that? Holy smokes. That's bright. I didn't realize how bright it is, but I guess technically, look how many lights they got on this thing, right? Like there's a bunch of stuff. But you're wondering like, what the hell is all this? But that's like a massage thing, right? So that's like it massages your head if you have headaches, if you have anything like that. So that's kind of cool. Things like this, right? Foam roller, right? Nice and easy if you want to. My clients either love it or hate it. So that's one of the things. But these are things that you can use to help boost your own recovery that are like product based, right? I talked about a whole bunch of stuff that you can actually do. Well, I guess technically protein and all that other stuff, but the sleep, your morning routine, changing a couple different things can actually really help benefit you. Because again, what is exercise recovery, right? When it all comes down to it, and you guys don't even want to hear this, but it's your HRV, right? It's the timing between heartbeats. And so if you ever like exercise or you do a cardio exercise and then you see your heart rate's like 140, 150, and then all of a sudden it plummets all the way down to like 100. And you're probably like, what the hell's going on? I got to keep my heart rate up. Well, it's actually a good thing because that is exercise recovery, because your cardio levels are based upon not how high your heart rate can go. It's about how quick it takes to come back to a resting heart rate. So think about that. The mom brain got me right now. DM me, new me, pretty me. You can remember that, new me, and then we can talk about kind of getting yourself into a good plan for you, a nice little personalized plan. Join the Women That Win community with some of my clients in here that are crushing it and kicking ass, and unfortunately having to get new clothes because of all of their stuff that they got going on. So, just crushing it. But a lot of it, as you can tell, is like a lot of it's mindset, right? A lot of my coaching is mindset. A lot of it is kind of getting into routine, focusing on, really showing up for yourself, the growth aspect. And that's how we should live our life, right? I think a lot of times we're so focused on that shiny object over here. See, yes, my jeans don't fit. Well, we got to start filling it out, right? We got to start filling it out. We got to start doing the glute exercise. Get your band out, Java, right? You got to get the bands out. But essentially what it comes down to is we got to get ourselves into a position where we're actually taking care of ourselves, right? Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. We can't show up for ourselves. We can't be the best person that we want to be. And I know this because I wasn't taking care of myself 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Wow. I mean, even 20 years ago, I wasn't. But 10 years ago, I wasn't giving a shit about myself. And this was when I was still in college. And once I realized that it does take that mindset shift, whether or not it's you get an injury, you go through surgery, maybe a life event happens to you, God forbid you're sick, and you get through something. Sometimes it takes a fucking slap in the face. You get in a motorcycle accident, a car accident, and you realize, like, I got to get my shit together. But the thing is there's never really, like, there's never a bad time to start. Everybody always thinks, like, oh, I'm too old for this, oh, I can't learn this, or oh, I'm too young. We always make these excuses for ourselves. And if we would spend half of the energy doing, oh my gosh, when you walked after your ankle, oh, look, Parth, thank you. See, this is why I do it, right? Just completed 6 weeks of healing your foot fracture. I hope it's doing better. I hope you're actually starting to see some results from it. And yeah, if you've seen that video of me walking, well, since you actually were here, let me show you. These are the things that, actually, oh, you can't even really see it, but we're walking, right? We're walking better. And so that gives you some inspiration to get yourself back in order, right? And I think a lot of times that's why we do this. That's why I do this, right? I want to make this easier. I want to make this so that you are more proactive on your health rather than reactive. And so, if I can give you the little tidbits that I have and I'm experiencing in my life, testing out in my life, like dairy. I'm lactose intolerant, but I started adding in dairy, and it's my second best recovery score over the month. Why? Who the hell knows? But it was lactose free dairy, so maybe my body was just earning for that. Maybe that was a nutrient that was actually deficient. Is it the calcium? Who the hell knows? But that's what we want to do, right? That's really what we want to do, and that's what we want to just kind of get ourselves better 1% each day. And so I could really talk about this all day long, but I do want to finish with saying one thing is that if you set yourself on a constant bedtime, you get some protein, you drink some water, and you engage in some sort of activity throughout the day, you're going to feel so much fucking better about yourself. It's not even kidding. It's not even funny. And its thing is I think a lot of times when we get into a health journey, when we get into what the hell is recovery, right? And a lot of times people are like, I don't even need recovery because I'm not even doing anything, right? So it's like, what do I need recovery for? But the thing is you need recovery from your everyday life, right? Everyday grind, everyday bullshit, everyday things that are, just the stimulations that are coming up. And that's what you got to recover from that. You got to be able to have an outlet. You got to be able to have something that you are resorting to, looking forward to, something to kind of let the steam out, right? And that's one thing, good thing about exercise. It's one thing about going for a walk. It's one thing about putting on the headphones, hitting the bag over here, like, let's be real. If I didn't have this thing, with the bag smacking and punching and doing all that good stuff, I mean, I'd probably be going crazy. The thing is because I can't run anymore, right? Because of my ankle fracture. I can't do these different things that I used to do beforehand. But I'm not going to let that bring me down. And so, like, a lot of times, like, we get older, we get injuries. Nick, I got a knee replacement. Most of my clients are knee replaced, hip replaced, locked up shoulder, rounded shoulder, like ailments. So, like, if people are like, Nick, oh my gosh, I would love to work with you, but I don't know if you can handle it. I'm an exercise physiologist. I have seen just about everything. I mean, at this point, 8 years in business, I've seen just about everything. And that's why I feel confident to come out here on these live streams and talk about it, because I've seen it. Now, maybe 4 years ago, I probably wouldn't have done this because I wouldn't have felt confident to actually be able to give you advice and help, right? So it's like, you got to know your role. You got to know where you're at and know your limit. But the thing is I'm trying to help. And that's where I think a lot of, and that's why I do these live streams, that's why I like to come on here. It's because when it comes down to it, if you can just start with one thing, maybe you get one little nugget of what I said. Maybe it's adding the 20 to 30 grams of protein. Maybe it's finding that bedtime routine. Maybe it's not eating that huge meal right before you go to sleep and then crash and pass out, right? If there's if you could do some of that stuff, hello 99, how we doing today? It's just, what can you do, Java? Exactly. Thank you so much. Do what you can do every day, right? You don't need to make, like, everybody's looking for this new, like, detox smoothie. And honestly, I got something to say about detox. You got me on now I'm on a tangent. If we're on the community, okay, we got like 20 people in here. So if you see the word detox, run. Fucking run. Please. Because you know what detox is? Your kidneys and your liver. If anybody's saying detox, it's a marketing thing. It's a marketing thing, right? So, like, if you're going to sit there and see detox, somebody selling detox smoothies, detox teas, detox, join my 6-week detox. What the fuck does that even mean? If you want to detox, drink some water. Because you know what the water's going to do? It's going to help filter your kidneys. So now that we're, just see that. I've been seeing a bunch of people talking about detoxing. And I'm like, what the hell is detox? What are we detoxing? Like, I didn't know, like, we were like, but the thing is marketing, and that's what gets people sold, right? And if we've never been interested in that, a lot of people are, though, like, they're looking for the next detox. I was just at the smoothie, what is it, the Tropical Smoothie King or whatever it is, Tiger King, whatever the hell it was. It's Tiger King, not Tiger King. Smoothie King, I don't get messed. I think there's two different companies. Tropical Smoothie King. Is that two different companies? What is it? I don't know. But it was a Tropical Smoothie King. And I got in there and I was like, I could use a little smoothie. Damn, they gave me this thing. It was like this big, right? It was fucking massive. And I was like thinking to myself, like, oh, okay, I didn't have lunch, I didn't have dinner, but the one that was right under it was detox. You can add a detox pump. What the fuck is a detox pump? Like, what is a detox pump? I don't know. I mean, I've never seen that, right? I've never seen a detox pump in my life. Did you poop? I got an energy. We'll find out. Actually, I probably, yeah. Thanks, though. I love that you're worried about my biles. I appreciate it. Tons of fiber, tons of blueberries. Good for you. But essentially, it's like, even at places like that where it is a major, I guess, chain tropical smoothie king, these places are everywhere, right? And so that's what it is. It's something to make you poop. Detox. That's all it is. They put a laxative in there. Like it's like a. But you can do that with fiber, right? So like if you're having trouble there, you do fiber. And so anytime you're seeing detox, just fucking run or just question them. Be like, so how is it detoxing me? I'm curious. Oh, well, it's got blueberries in there. Oh, it does. Okay, well, what's the blueberries doing? Well, it's fiber and it's gonna make you poop, and that's detox. Okay, so detox. Oh, interesting. So if you ever hear the word detox, we got some smart people in the community. Just get the hell out, or just actually really question them and say like, okay, well, what are we detoxing? Oh, we're on a 6-week detox program. What the hell are we doing? So yeah. If you see that, run. Yeah, we don't want that. But essentially, let's kind of recap so because I got to go actually see a client here at 4:30. Let's recap, right? So we can all just make smoothies at home. And I'll tell you what, see, good question. That Tropical Smoothie King one I got the blueberry, whatever the hell. My blueberry smoothie yesterday was better than that. Fucking charged me $8 for this damn smoothie, right? They charged me $8 for this damn smoothie, and it was better than that. But let's recap, right? So see, everybody who's in here, 20, you could even write this down, 20 to 30 grams, I'm going to save it anyways, 20 to 30 grams of protein in the morning. Non-negotiable. That's non-negotiable. Money down the drain, right? You pee it out, especially with supplements. Oh, this is you guys got me all fired up, right? But 20 to 30 grams of protein, this will be a good one for tomorrow, is that, so I want you 20 to 30 grams of protein, non-negotiable. That's what we want. We want to find a bedtime routine, right? We want to find a good bedtime routine. So don't eat 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. That should be your other non-negotiable. So in the beginning of the day, right, we're eating the 20, 30 grams of protein and making sure that, and again, what is 20 to 30 grams? That is a yogurt with an egg with a peanut butter toast, with an avocado toast. That could be 2 eggs with a yogurt. That could, 20 to 30 grams, be adventurous. But just don't eat 6 eggs because you're just going to fart and people are going to be irritated and then you're not even going to want to do it anymore, and yeah, it's just not going to be sustainable, right? So, okay, idea, hour before bedtime. That's what I like. Maybe I'd say 90 minutes. Because I started at 90 minutes and felt pretty good and then went to 2 hours. But at least 2 hours, your main meal, right? Now, if you snack, maybe it's not the worst. But 2 hours, you're going to poop? Oh yeah, that's 100%, probably after this. But the thing is 2 hours you don't want dinner. Just make sure that there is something there. Make sure you have a constant bedtime that you're waking up. So I'm talking, if you're a shift worker, I know you're working those crazy ass 12-hour, 14-hour grinds. Let's find a system. Let's find a routine, right? Let's find a way where, what is it? Are you always going to sleep at 10? So, in the morning, are you getting out from your job and then, eating dinner and then going straight to bed? Well, that's the same thing that we're talking about right here is that bedtime routine. It doesn't matter if it's 12 in the afternoon or 12 in the evening. It's still the same. Find when you're going to sleep, mark off that you're not eating 2 to 3 hours or 2 hours beforehand. So perfect. And then learn something, right? Learn something. These 3 things, the dairy, the protein, and the dairy, people are probably like, no, I'm crashed out by 7:30. Okay. But then it's learning something new. And that's something I really encourage you guys to really find is like, whether it's a book, whether it's a skill, whether it's something that you're already doing, maybe for your job. Is there a way that you can become like the fucking best person at your job, right? You probably already are, right? Because the community's good. This community's smart, right? We got the good community here. But you guys are already probably the smartest in your job. But if you can find something that you're going to learn, if you can learn from it every day, now we're in a position where we're actually feeling better, right? We're actually getting better. We're actually getting better in our recovery. So look at that. Is there something that you can read in the morning? So after you've had your breakfast, or maybe even before you've had your breakfast, you read something about your job for the day. Maybe the task that you're doing, you're actually completing it, or maybe learning a different way to do it. Be adventurous with it, because there's actual benefit to that. It lights up your brain. Like, you actually get more synapses, more part of your brain is actually firing. And then what happens? Who knows, right? Like, let's be real. Love the healthy Inzer. Oh, that's my grandma. Thanks, grandma. Everybody say hi to grandma. Say hi, grandma. But grandma's the best, right? Grandma's the biggest fan. Always the biggest fan, no matter what. So, love you, grandma. Awesome. But that's kind of really it, right? It's getting yourself into a position where you're going to bed at night, not eating not eating right before you go to bed. So save that for 90 minutes, and then 20 to 30 grams in the morning. And we're going to go ahead and be the best version of ourselves. I mean, let's be real. Oh, everybody's saying hi, grandma. Oh, I love it. I love it. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. But that's essentially what I got for you, So if you got some value, give me some fire, give me a like, throw some fires in the chat. Hello, everybody. But, if you get some value out of this, and I love being able to come on here and be able to really just explain a lot of the stuff that is going on, because, I can always talk about it to myself, but I like coming on here and helping you guys out, right? Because that's what it's all about when it comes down to it. Is if I can help out the community, you guys are helping me out by watching my videos, watching the content, commenting, doing all the stuff, helping out I wouldn't have been able to grow to 70,000 followers if it wasn't for all of the people on here, on the live stream, watching the videos, joining the community. And so we're only just getting started, right? We're only going to get bigger. We're only going to do more stuff. And we're only going to be able to give you more value as I get some more time. So I apologize to all of my in-person clients if you're watching, because you know that we've been spending a lot more time over here. But hey, that's all right. It's 2024. Everybody's online anyways. So my days of knocking on the door at 5 a.m. like everybody was yelling at me in YouTube are going to be really coming to an end, because we got a bunch of good things planned at the end of the summer. We're going to get the podcast going, make this a little bit more official. We got some new cameras. We got some good stuff going on. And so if you don't know, remember that on Sunday, I actually got suggested one last thing before I go, and I know I said that 10 minutes ago, was evening yoga. So anybody that's in here, we all need to move to Pittsburgh. Well, we got virtual, right? We can do. So evening yoga. Some of you know that we do the 7 a.m. yoga on Sundays, the community yoga, bringing everybody together. But I've gotten a request for 7 p.m. yoga. Let me know in the chat if you would want to do a 7 p.m. yoga. If you want to do both. I don't mind doing both, but the 7 p.m. one would probably be like 20 to 25 minutes. The morning one would probably be more like 40 to 45 minutes. Now, we'd be doing it, obviously, we do it right here, so you need to get yourself. I can't see. But if there was interest, let me know. I'm going to do it this Sunday. We're going to do 2 classes, so if you really wanted to do both, I mean, by all means, fucking come on in and let's kick some ass. That's why we're doing it, right? Give you that opportunity. So we'll be on there on YouTube. We'll be on there on Instagram. And just keep showing up, because if you show up for yourself, that's the best thing you can do. So awesome, Pretty. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Grandma, for being in here. Thanks, everybody, for all your kind words. And I hope I was able to give you some value. And I'm going to save this, too. Yeah, we're doing 7 p.m. It works. Both is cool because of my weekend alternates. Okay, cool. So perfect. We'll do 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Sunday. We'll see how long I can sustain that. And let's keep kicking ass. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Now I got to go see my 5 o'clock client. And yeah, you guys are awesome. So Thank you, everyone. Peace. Awesome, YouTube. Well, thank you for everybody showing up on YouTube. You know, we're live on Instagram, live on YouTube. I would like to have it if it was just one camera where I can actually talk to both of you at the same time, but you know, Facebook and YouTube, they don't want to, you know, competing companies. They got to make it difficult for us content creators, bastards. But essentially, we're doing this we're going to try to be doing this 3 to 4 times a week on YouTube. And if you haven't, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you're following the journey. Make sure you're following. And if you need some help in your coaching, you need some help, I'm helping 20 to 30 ladies right now lose weight, kick ass, and just become the best versions of themselves. So if that is something you want to do, I want to help you. But instead, you can watch all the content for free and kind of get me kind of yelling at you in the ear. But yeah, awesome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you I would say Sunday, but I'll see you tomorrow because we're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow. So peace.